5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
All right. Here we are. Happy Friday. We're here live with Neve. It is 10 o'clock. It is actually 10:02. We're here in a very foggy and cold New York City. It is a very just funky-ass day, to put a fine point on it. There's so much going on in the world. Normally, my show is the most apolitical place. I basically consider all politicians some kind of a form of lower life form. Not at the local level so much, but at the national level, it's a collection of freaks, pimps, and grifters. Other than that, they're a great bunch of people, and we have them in both parties. So anybody wants to call today, we're going to have probably the only overtly political show we've ever had on the show. I find music and comedy and things to laugh at far more interesting than the crap that's going on that we're waking up to every day. And I'm going to choose my words carefully today. You're going to hear things occasionally out of my mouth you're not going to agree with. You'll probably be annoyed, and you're going to think, why does this asshole think he knows a lot about it? Well, I could turn you around and look at my bookshelf, and I can tell you I've read a lot, and I have a very keen interest in European history, past 100 years primarily. I've read more books on the history of various nations that have come and gone in Europe. And there's some things that most of us have forgotten unless you have a love of history. Right now, the biggest story in the news, as we all know, is unfolding right before our very eyes. I have to just take a step and say, people, we are living in a very, people would like to say unique part of time, but it's not. This is not unique. Wars have been going on. The number of peaceful years versus conflict in our world, it's just ridiculous. There's about maybe 15% since man's beginning, we haven't had war of some kind going on. I may be slightly off, but what I will tell you is the changes that are going on in the world and the things people are telling you in the media. And I'm not part of the media, people. I'm just an idiot sitting here looking at the ocean, okay? But in my 60 years of life, I've seen parties come and go. I've been a member of both parties. I've been a member of no party. I've been to the point where I'm at now that I'm just thoroughly disgusted with the behavior of our political class. And I'm pissed off at everybody, and we all should be. You also should blame yourself for the current events happening in Europe right now. I'm sorry to point fingers at people, but those of you who thought that this administration was capable of handling this type of problem, I'm just going to come out and say you were mistaken. And it's sad, because I don't have any interest in sitting here and shaming folks who voted for the current administration. You were tired of Trump. I get it. You didn't like him. He said bad things. He did a lot of really stupid crap, okay? But one thing, and I just tell you, you guys who are in the green room, I'm going to break and bring you back on in a moment. But comment, I want you to be, everybody, all of you out there, think, would this be going on right now if the changes in the image of weakness we have presented to the world in the past 2 years? I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump, and I'm not a huge fan of Biden at all. I think Trump had lots of things. He could have just kept his bloody mouth shut. I think he did a lot of stupid things that could have been avoided. But he never, ever made the safety of our country be at risk by the things he did. I want everybody to call in, no matter who you like today. I have Sam, I have myself. I want you to call in and tell me, A, if you voted that way, if you're still thinking things are going well, I just want you to tell us why. We're not going to yell at you. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to call you bad names. I respect everybody, man. We're all just people. We all like to think we're exceptional, but you're not. You're just another fucking person out here in the world. You're here for a finite period of time. If you're lucky, you have no war. If you're lucky, you have money and food on your table. There's a reason why everybody wants to come here. Look at what's going on in the south of the border. And I'm going to paint a scenario that many of you, I doubt if any of you have even thought about this. There are people right now who are saying, let Putin have a little bit of Ukraine. There are groups of people in America, one in particular called La Raza. La Raza is a militant Mexican group that believes we stole the Southwest from them. Essentially, we did. We won it in a war, we kicked their ass, and we took it. And that's what's got to happen. Whether any of us, I'm just going to give you my thumbnail, and then we're going to open the phones. I want to hear all of you out there tell me, are you happy? Do you think that we're in the situation we are because of the last election? Yes, there's certainly things that Trump ignored, but all administrations have to prioritize things. The most important priority is keeping us safe as Americans, safe from each other, safe from our foreign enemies. Right now, in the lead up to the election, we abided riots. I still get told by some of my friends that there is no Antifa, there is no rioting, that it's not. They tell me that the January 6th is the insurrection, as they call it, is way worse than the damage and just the destruction in our cities in the past 2 years leading up to the election. I'm sorry. I don't abide violence by our political parties. It's bullshit. Our country has always saved and been a different kind of place in the world where we come to get away from that shit. The reason all the smart people in Ukraine have left a long time ago. They're here. They're in New York. They're in Chicago. They got out because it sucked there. It still sucks there. The stains of history on the Ukrainian people, if I was a really nasty individual, I would say, well, they're sowing what they've reaped. It's not the case. The world is full of bad people who will take and do horrible things to good people because good people get complacent. They sit around. We're all sitting here in the past 2 years in this election. The media has just gone off their chain. And they've allowed this. Hey, Brian, what's happening? I'm sorry we're in a heavy political speech here. And it's not a speech. I'm talking from my heart. If you don't agree with me, it's fine. You can hate me for disagreeing with your political opinion all you want. In fact, I welcome it. I also welcome talking to you about it. If you can prove me wrong and tell me where anything I've said. Look, Ukraine has been the most anti-Semitic place in the world. Hey, since the Middle Ages, I'm talking when Genghis Khan came through and got at the gates of Kiev and stopped. The only thing that saved us back then was Genghis Khan himself died. His sons were one of 6 gangs roaming around the world. They got stopped at Kiev, not because of our great power in fighting off the Mongols. They stopped because there was nothing they could do. They had to go back and take care of business when Genghis Khan died, and they never made it back. Force is always going to be used by people who are strong. Now, for those of you on the side of the argument telling me that we should be starting a war with Ukraine because we can't abide this, I'm sorry, I think you're completely mistaken and wrong. Getting back to the anti-Semitism, that country during World War II, they aligned with the Nazis. Okay, so they're historical. When you sit and go, these are just poor people, this country has had blood on its hands for decades. I know people are losing their mind, think I hate Ukrainians. I don't. I don't think that Ukrainians as a group are bad people. I saw a picture of a guy sitting in his window in the capital city, and he's sitting there with his cat, looking out the window, scared shitless. Now, I can look out my window from here, and I see New York City. Right now, it's cloudy, so I don't see it. It's about 7-8 miles across the harbor. Now, I'm going to leave it here. I want everybody to call in, tell me, A, what you think we should do about it, whether you're for invading or not going, and your reason for it. And I would like to see what you think is going to happen in the next couple of years if we continue this pattern. mind you, folks, we're not appeasing Putin if we don't get into a war here. What we're doing is resurrecting a concept from the past called détente. Détente means we know they're assholes. They know they don't like us, and we accept that at face value instead of all this bullshit that we're all supposed to feel the same and everybody thinks the same and everything's going to be a bloody kumbaya. It isn't. So all this serious stuff, we're always about fun and games and laughter here. I'm sorry I've talked a little much. We're right about ready to go to the break in 2 minutes, but I'm bringing up my two co-hosts and cohorts and co-conspirators. I'm sorry if I've gotten heavy. I'm all aggravated. I'm pissed off. And I don't know what to say. Good morning, guys. How hell are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Sam?
Oh, I just got myself all fucking riled up here, and I'm kind of angry and annoyed because I didn't really want to come on and be angry and annoyed. I had a list of notes, and I didn't look at any of them because I'm so angry and pissed off right now that I just let it roll. So, guys, I'm sorry if I was long-winded. It may be my show, but I kind of fucked up my own list of things we were supposed to have you on minutes ago, and here we are. So what's happening in Nashville, Sam?
It's snowing and cold.
Yep.
I think it actually has stopped snowing, but it was earlier. The weather's disgusting. I think it's just disgusting on the whole East Coast. So we should just wad it up and throw it in the trash can.
Yeah, it's coming our way, I think.
We can throw out the weather. I gotta
wish.
learn how to do this. You guys down in Nashville just got something serious happening because I want to learn how to throw out the weather.
So what's going on in Detroit, man? It's got to be cold as shit. You're like
It is cold. It is snowing. It is blowing. The roads have ice on them. Everybody's jackknifing their trucks. Everybody decides to drive on said roads anyway because it sounds like a good idea. We've decided to throw an incredible amount of construction, potholes, and just general tomfoolery on top of it, and this is why we roll.
Well, that's it, man. You know, you have any random gun violence or any murders in the streets in Detroit lately? I think the cold doesn't the cold kind of drive the dirtballs inside briefly?
I don't know. I mean, going down 94, sometimes they're still popping shots at you on the freeway just because I guess it's like when you were a kid, you throw eggs at a car and you run. I guess that has somehow evolved into this is now the new thing.
Cool.
So you have a guy or guys or gals who are shooting at cars on the interstate.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It happens every couple months to get a new one. A new dumbass.
During the right after 9/11, there was these two Mamelukes who were running around shooting people from the back of the car. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the DC sniper.
The DC sniper. That's right. I forgot his press name.
How about that?
Wow.
Malvo and Malvo was
Marvo?
juvenile.
Malvo. Right.
And he was actually under the juvenile lifer law. And then the father was, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, you know what? We don't have to even use his name because he's just a piece of shit and let his his nasty self lay where it is.
Yep.
You know, I'm tired of these people. You know, today it's like the most pissed off I've been in a while. I stayed up late watching some of the shit going on over in Ukraine.
I did too, yeah.
I have a friend of mine who is a Russian studies major and has a lot of in the Eastern European theater. She knows tons of people. She speaks Russian, speaks Ukrainian, and she's freaking out. I mean, like you, Sam, you know. I also, for everybody watching, you may remember last week we had the lovely and talented, let me see if I get the word right, Evelina.
Yes. Okay.
I think that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
it took me a week of practicing while looking at her picture for something completely different. Anyway, Evelina is a real sweetheart, and she may join us this afternoon and talk about what's going on, give us a Polish perspective, because we talked to her last week and we were talking, oh my God, the drums of war. Yeah. And I know this. The father, and she's a cute kid, but she reminds me of my kids, you know, and I sit here and look at her and I think of her as a kid, even though she's a 30-year-old. When you're 60 and you have kids in that age, they're always kids. You look at them, you think they're kids, but they're not. But she's stuck there. And in my note, I said to her, you know, you work for a multinational corporation. And I said, you know, you just want to go back to England for another year or two until this shit hoses out. You might just want to get out of Poland while you can now.
Yeah.
And to any of my friends who are
Yeah,
watching,
I saw that. I was like, if they go into Warsaw, man, this shit's gonna get real.
That's when we
see,
have
this is
to
the problem.
step
It's the
in. You know,
geography.
that's my thing is I'm cool. I get, we can't jump in and start fighting with the Ukrainians as much as we may want to or not want to. I get it. But if they so much as step foot across
In
the
Poland,
border into Poland,
make them pay.
Well,
they're gonna have to pay.
you
because
can't let them mount
my
up like they
family
did
is
either.
very closely connected.
No, you can't let them
to
start massing
Poland.
on the border. Oh,
Yeah,
excuse me.
we watched this happen. So I mean, it's a pretty good protocol to say, hey, you know what? If they start mounting up on the border by Warsaw, stop it now.
Yeah,
Yep.
don't let it happen yet. But,
If they let them go in, see, Putin's not stupid. He doesn't want a nuclear war, and he's betting that we're not going to do shit. Because the truth is, we really have nothing we can do, and we're not going to go to. He's not insane. He's not going to start a nuclear. Look, if things got, our military would stop anything from getting totally insane, regardless of our political leaders. I have faith in them that if something really gets psycho, like we're being attacked, cooler heads will prevail. People who know what the fuck is going on at the top will take the actions we need, I hope.
Well, I mean, we've got retired generals that would come out of the woodwork if something like that were to happen. That are battle savvy and battle hardened, and they would not.
I am hoping that right now those people are being talked to on a sub-rosa level. But look, we're here at the end of the first segment. We're talking politics today, which we don't usually do. Let's see, and I've got Susan Fine, thank you. Yes, I know the nuts are in the subway for sure. They're also at the UN, man. I'm glad they're not in. They're going to be all here in a week or two. The bastards will fill up New York with all their fucking foul car parking, and they can't drive around the city because people are driving in. God almighty, I hate
dead.
They need to send it to Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It's really nice this time of year, and it needs redevelopment. The Clintons wanted to build it up with all those millions. Maybe they can take the money from that investment and build the UN and send it there. It'd be great.
How about we just send the Clintons to Poland? They'll never want to. No Russian will ever want to go there.
That's true.
We get one stone.
Yeah,
I think Billy
I'm so just mainly concerned for Poland this morning. I really don't care about anything or anyone else. We have friends there. My family, is really, really, really connected to the city of Warsaw.
Maybe you can get some of your family to give us a call, Sam. Maybe we can get one of them on the show.
I'd love to, because my family actually had a foundation that we worked together with a local doctor from Kentucky that went to our church, and we established. It's called Hope for the Children. And, there are orphanages full of kids over there, the Otvosk orphanage for one, and those kids are already hurting. We would go and do summer camps for them. So, like Vacation Bible School, we would do that. And I traveled through Warsaw and Krakow, and it was heart-wrenching to see. We would send money. So, when we would take church offerings in church, we would gather up a portion of all of our offering, and every month we have a friend named Henrik that helped us start the foundation Hope for the Children. And my family would make sure that Henrik got all of our money locally from our part of Kentucky. And he would go and he would deliver groceries to the families in the Warsaw area. And, the small amount of money that we could send them fed so many families. And to see the destruction from the European theater prior, like World War II destroyed that place. Destroyed.
Yeah.
I slept
There's so many cities
dorm.
in Europe that were just so level that I think people can't wrap the size of
So I slept in a dorm. I'm talking a little room with some beds in it for all of us. We were broken up male, female, but I slept in a dorm upstairs inside a church. And there was one that we stayed in that was in Krakow. And it had been a World War II holdout. It had been a hospital for the Nazi Germany side. And there are people that can't even get housing there that have to pay to sleep in these dorms inside these churches. That's how they live their life still. And their very existence is once again being fucking threatened.
When you think about how good we have it, you know why everybody leaves where they're at when that shit goes on. There's a reason I don't see anybody hauling ass and wanting to go into the Soviet Union.
And they're not going to leave. They're not going to run. The Ukrainians and the Polish are very proud people. They've got a long heritage. They've got an amazing heritage in music, art, literature. They are proud and sovereign, and they don't deserve what's going on.
No. So well, listen, I want you to hold that thought, Sam. We're going to go to a break real quick, everybody. Today it's Live with Neve. We did blow through the first break. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. It's a little different. Look, after the show goes off, the political animal will leave the building. I get rabid sometimes. I literally, I hold all this shit in for years, and I don't say my opinion on anything publicly. And I just said, I'm just cranky as shit this morning. I'm pissed off at the fucking, Putin. And I just had to get up and raise some hell. So here we are. The chips are going to fall where they are. If you don't like what I say, don't watch. Don't send me a nasty letter or announce you're leaving because you're disappointed or that I'm an evil human. I already know I'm an evil bastard. So do you. So enjoy it. Embrace it. Live with Neve. We're going to bring you back in just a few minutes. Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm trumpeter Greg Adams, and I'm live with Neve.
Wow. Thank you, Greg. And Greg Adams will be with us next month. I was just talking to his lovely and talented wife last night, Andrea, and we had a snow day, a rare snow day back when Julie had first left the show, and we had to cancel because of the snow, but he will be back. And you guys, Greg was the main power and tower of power for a long time, and his band East Bay Soul is everything you want in an amazing jazz band. If you like jazz, you know who he is already. He's played on more albums than I can count. Stones. It's just a list of credits he has, and it would be harder for me to think of people he hasn't played with over the decades because he's just an unimaginable trumpet. So or French horn, rather, excuse me. So getting back to it, I've been babbling. I'm getting off track. I have a huge cup of coffee here, so you can tell I'm completely like psycho this morning. And we're talking about Europe and what's going on today. And we're talking about, rather than placing the blame, I asked the simple question. Did you vote for the current administration? And at this point, do you think they're doing a good job? And promise you, we're not going to beat you up. I'm not going to yell at you. I just want to know what your rationale is. And I think for all my Republican friends and Democrat friends both, instead of this being some big bitch fest where you don't listen to someone talking about what they're trying to say without either calling them a snowflake or a Nazi or some other pejorative, just be cool. Assume that everybody has fucking great value in their thoughts, and they do. So listen to them. If they're misguided, try to educate them politely. But don't just start calling each other assholes and snowflakes, okay? You'll be booted, and I don't know. I'll send Irish and Sam, and I might visit you late at night, give you a talking to.
All right. Well,
so Irish, what do you got? What do you think right
cents.
Now?
All right, my 2 cents. So here we go. This situation is not like dealing with the Afghanistan situation or the Pakistan situation with India even. This one here is different. And the reason that it's different is because going back to the initial principle of, Ukraine was at one point part of the Soviet Union. That busted up. Everything's coming back. Everybody's opinion is different on the situation because they're all on different sides. Everybody's got a fucking side. Humanity hasn't been on the same side since it's dawn. You look at the Native Americans of this country. They're on a much different perspective of like what we said earlier is like, U.S. came in or, we came in, we took that. It's now ours. And so everybody's still fighting over the same amount of land. You have 8 billion people in the world, and things are starting to get a little tight. And this is the beginning of what Daniel Quinn wrote about many, many moons ago, when he said that the danger comes when we start fighting over resources. The tragedy comes when we start fighting over food. The end comes when we start fighting over water. Take this seriously, and everybody needs to take a step back and say, wait, because this has already started. And the reason that it started is because war is a bunch of fucking useless, coward-ass old men talking.
Playing games.
And a bunch of young people dying with no set plan, with no set anything. And see, I'll fight. I'm 45 years old, damn near, whatever. But there's a bunch of 18, 19-year-old kids that ain't ready for what could be potentially dealt up to them.
Oh my God. Can I say something that pertains to that so that I can hear your opinion on it while you're on the topic? So, like, I'm in that crowd. Please do not call me cringy. I'm young. I can't help it. So I'm on TikTok, right? TikTok sends you videos based on just what they think you're into, or your age group or whatever. I ended up on War Talk, people. You know what War Talk is? There was soldiers from I ended up on the good side, so let me put that up there. I ended up on the Ukraine side, but I ended up on War Talk, and it's soldiers in the front line with their native music playing behind them, brandishing their weapons. This boy was 17 in this video. Can I show you real quick, and then I want your opinion?
Absolutely. You know what? We got to, Sam, add this to your list of things. We may want to look into talking to the people who run that group and getting an editor on or something.
I'm actually on there now. I follow Sam on there. She's done a couple really cool background ones with her music lately that I've been watching. I watch it 3 or 4 times. Get it, Sam. She don't know I'm out here just dancing to it, but get it.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, Terry, what's happening, baby?
I think that it's cringy.
Terry's out in LA. She's chilling like a villain. She's at work today, so she's not really chilling, but I like Terry. Now that's a fan. She's at work, sitting there, got her watch on, got her little earbud in probably. I don't know what Terry does for work, but I can see her sitting at a desk somewhere and starting to crack up when we get particularly pithy about any given subject.
Yeah, it happens. But while she's looking for that, she's got it.
Wow. Oh, I saw this. I saw you post this. Yes.
This is War Talk, people. I'm on the good side, though. But, yeah.
Wow.
It's insane. We are watching war through social media. Now tear it away, Irish.
This is
all right.
unbelievable.
All right. So
it really is.
This is the little kid I saw, by the way.
Wow. 17-year-old kid. This, people, is what when you vote for people who want to go to war, think about it hard.
Those eyes right there.
Yep. That kid could be dead as we speak. The war has been going on for 48 hours.
All right.
Right now, it's almost 8 o'clock. What is it? Let's see. It's 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. Now, I was watching in the middle of the night when it was dawn and the shit was picking up. I haven't looked because this morning I've been working on show prep and talking to a few friends for new show guests. But we live in a really crazy time, people. So I'm sorry. Oh, you have to mute us. Terry, you're awesome, too. I've got to tell you, you and Toby and all, in fact, everybody who ever stops by and watches this, we really do love you. And, I got the best fans, and Sam has best fans, and Irish. We got really cool people, and I'm thankful. It shows me there's hope in the world, because not everybody's an asshole, and not all the people are just believing. Or what's happening is people just get influenced by the 24-hour news cycle. I think that's one of the problems today, why people get so worked up and can't sit down and have a political discussion without talking, is because when they're off time, they get in this vacuum of people who think the exact same way they do, and they all agree with each other, and it's hive mind. And I really like people who go, I'm not saying anything yet. I'm going to think about it. And you sit, I stayed up last night before we talked about this today, and I did a lot of thinking about, I talked with a friend yesterday. Should I talk about this? Should I not? This show's here. Everybody watching, it's a little heavy today, but we're here to make you laugh. We're here to make you smile. We're here just to make you have An hour of some fun in your life. No agenda. I don't want to sell you a whole bunch of shit. It would be nice, though, if you tip our tip jar once in a while. Last year, the tipping sucked, so that's on you. Maybe if I up the show, you'll tip more, but who knows? Maybe if you send me more money, I don't know, I'll go buy drugs and blow it all and, find me in New York City with a drunk hooker,
That ad pitch went south real fast.
It can happen, man. But we hope it doesn't.
Anyway, good Lord. All right. So here's the thing, man. There's always going to be ambitious men. We've lived in a male-dominated culture for a very, very long time.
Patriarchy is real.
Yeah, there's always been somebody there's been a ruling class and a subclass and all of those other things. Vladimir Putin, don't get him twisted. Very, very smart, very dangerous guy. And it's not like a Biden or a Trump or a Reagan or a Clinton. I don't care. I'm not either. I don't like either side of them. I can't stand them.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are the fakest, phoniest, most gutless human beings in the world. Period.
Yep. And they're busy fucking bodies.
Jesse Ventura went up there the one time, and it was on Fox News or I don't remember. But he goes up there, and the guy was like, "Go war, go war, go war." And he said, "Well, wait a minute. If you're so pro freaking war,
why aren't you there fighting with Ukraine?
Why are you here in your suit and your millions of dollars? You'll send people like that kid that Sam just showed, and they'll send me, and they'll send Sam." But they won't go. And that was the difference between, at least I had some respect for the leaders of old. They would go into the war with their field. And that's when you knew they really believed in it. It takes a lot of freaking balls to run up on somebody that's carrying a war axe. You got to believe in what you're doing. Now we kill people with freaking video games. War has become modified. It's become simple. It's become easy. And it's become impersonal. You're killing people on a computer screen with a video game. This is incredibly dangerous.
We are so close to Terminator 2 at this point. We actually are there as far as the DARPA projects, thinking of like robotic dogs, things like that.
This isn't connected to you? We're all cyborgs.
We are. They know where you're at. I have an iPhone and an iWatch.
We are willing cyborgs. We carry this.
I thought this was a great thing, and I like it. I like my watch, but it reminds me of all kinds of things. And then I go into the Health Act, and they want me to track. They will ask you if you'd like to track your sex life. I'm like, aside from the fact that both me and my wife are like really busy most of the time, even getting time for getting sex is kind of like that would be the story. I want a reminder to say, "Hey, honey, it's been a week." No, I'm kidding, but I mean, these things. It started giving me messages like I'm sitting here trying to do show prep, and it popped up, and now this is great. I'm kind of annoyed about whatever I'm annoyed about that given day, politics. Assholes on the road. And then it goes, you need to stop and take your mindful minute or whatever the fuck it is. Meantime, I'm sitting here, I'm in that state where I'm chewing a hole through my lip. I'm so angry and ragged out about something. And this thing goes, time to take your magic meditation. And then I go, I feel the words flowing through me. Now I'm not going to turn around and choke the narrator with both hands and a sleeper hold until they stop talking. No, it goes on and it tells me I should be breathing in and out, and it's got haptics so I can take the cleansing breath and it's going brrr, and then I take the next time because I'm like, we're controlled by this shit.
I
wonder how many people,
there's no doubt.
How many people here, just the three of us and the few who are here watching at the moment, tell us how many of you could survive 2 hours without going kind of getting a little jonesy, looking like a crack dealer, a crackhead
anymore.
I hate mine. That's why I don't ever communicate back. That's why people get mad at me, because I refuse. It's not that I'm ignoring my friends or anyone, including you all. Like even like it's not.
Oh yeah,
I just
but I knew what was going on with you.
When I don't want to because I hate it. Yeah. I don't like social media. I don't fucking like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like being bothered. I like living in my own little bubble, my own little world. Yep. And the impersonal nature that cell phones have caused is ridiculous. It's stupid. We are consumed by these stupid devices. Stupid. It's stupid. And you know,
how about having a dinner without the goddamn phone being on at all?
Yes, but let me tell you something. So, as a pre-law student, a lot of my emphasis is on political science, sociology, history, and Karl Marx. While I don't agree with most things that he had to say, Karl Marx said something really fucking brilliant. He said that at some point there would be a revolution, basically, an awakening.
Right.
So we are, what he said, in what's called a false consciousness. We are unaware of the disadvantage that we have been placed at. The proletariats is basically who we are. The bourgeoisie are the rich people, the capitalists, your business owners, your Bill Gates, your politicians, all those people. Conflict theory says that we can stay at conflict with one another and keep ourselves at a disadvantage while feeding to their advantage. We are in a sense of false consciousness. We are in a screwed up nation. We have screwed up laws. We have screwed up like everything.
That goes back to Quinn.
Of class consciousness, that is when you realize and wake up and see what the fuck we've been fed.
Well, that goes back to Quinn right there, and how this is how it plays out. So back in early days before modern civilizations, we had tribes. And in every single tribe, somebody was a necessary component to that tribe. They were a family, a group-oriented thing. You needed your butcher. You needed your bread maker. You needed your men. You needed your... Everybody was necessary. And they didn't have any of this nonsense that we live with today. That's why people, I mean, you see it all the time. People go on Facebook, they see a TikTok that's moderately heartwarming, and they start to freaking cry. That's because your soul is freaking yearning for your fucking clan that we don't have anymore. You know, there's 8 billion people. Everybody has one of these things. Nobody talks about it. They do this all day. You know, they don't have any interpersonal relationships whatsoever. And that compounded with go to the World Atlas. Look at the population of the world between 1960 and today. All you have to do is look at it, and you'll understand why all of this is going to start to happen and continue to happen unless we get it under wraps. Mark my words.
So,
hey, man, you know, the hardest thing is, I've thought about it a lot of times, the developed nations, we go in and a lot of people here are like, why can't these people have birth control? Well, they don't understand the way parts of the world live.
You don't need it if everybody just stops. All they have to do is stop. Just everybody stop. And that's all they have to do is think together uniformly one time.
But we have a world of individuals. And for that, hold the thought. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. And for anybody who is watching, look, we're in serious mode now. And we've talked about a lot of things. And I think in the next segment, we should just kind of maybe move on and see if anybody picks up on these threads we've talked about.
Like, she's got something she's got to let out.
She's got something to say. So we're going to come back and pick Sam's brain because I can see I can smell that.
I have a bill to talk about that I'm currently lobbying against very heavily. So, yeah, let's come back to
hear
that.
it.
You're on Live with Neve. We've had a really wacky show. We've let the commercial breaks go to fucking completely askew, and we're still here. Our morning guest, I guess, was unable to come, or we scared her off with the politics, but Pam will be back with us. She was in the studio the past 2 days. Pam Mcoy was our morning guest. Excellent guest. Those of you who've seen her on my show know how good she is, and we will have her on again. In fact, who knows? It could even be a screw up on my half. Who knows? Maybe I booked her for the afternoon. Who knows? The staff around here has all been on strike. I mean, you know, times are hard. Please send donations to Sam, to Irish, and to myself. We need it. We need the cash.
I'm just good with donuts. If you send me some Krispy Kremes, I'm happy.
Damn right. I will sing for red velvet cake. You can bribe me. I mean, I could probably be talked in almost anything with a good slice of red velvet cake.
Or some German chocolate cake.
Yes. In fact, while we're on, I have cake in the fridge.
German chocolate is not German. It's actually the name of the guy, just for a little history lesson.
Oh, all right. Deutsche man.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Like a melting flake of snow this year. I won't be sad to see it go.
Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve.
I would have said it couldn't happen here. The people we...
All right. Excuse me. I just showed you that ad by the talented Darren Flynn from Ireland, way over in wee old Ireland. Anyhow, Darren, my former partner in the biz, did some great ads for some of our friends, and that was an ad Julie produced for one of our guests. And so today I'm here to announce we're going to be doing a new thing. If you're a band, if you've been on the show, excuse me, we have an incredibly cheap advertising deal for you. I can tell you, and I'll let, if you're interested, that ad that you just saw by Darren Flynn, we can do the same thing for you. If you're an ISSA member or you're a Gone Country Hats band member, an endorsee or sponsee, I should say, you also get a discount on top of that. These ads can run for a year and under $500. That's for a whole year running on Live with Neve. Some of the things this year we're going to be updating that even my co-hosts do not know. We are going to be starting Live with Neve Radio. And we're going to have a couple of shows featuring ISSA members. Going to have a show featuring the Gone Country Hat people. And we're going to have, every 90 days or so, we're going to have a guest host from either one of those or from the people in the Jammies. I know Sam's going to be voting this year. And so we've got some good advertising. And basically the way it works is you come on the show, we get some footage, we ask you a few questions. And we do it, and then we pop this back up. I'm just going to let it play one more time, then I'm going to bring my cohorts on to show you. Look, this is really cheap. We're not making a tremendous amount of money, but look, like any show, we got to keep the doors open. If we can't get donations, we need people to do something, or I need to do something just to so I can get some money for Sam and for Irish. We all do this on a volunteer basis. But, you know, maybe even buying a nice Christmas party for everybody. Please help us out. Buy some advertising. If you have a business, if you make musical instruments, if you have a record you want to put. I mean, we're looking at, you're going to have literally thousands of plays for under $500. 500 is where they start, but the basic, if you just want something simple, I'll even go cheaper. We want you to have an ad form you can afford. And enough about all that stuff. I'm going to go back. Sam is taking care of some recreational business. Irish is sitting there patiently awaiting me.
I'm good at waiting. I can wait in 14 different languages. I'm damn good at it.
Me too. I'm good at waiting and impatient as shit. I sit there and seethe the whole time.
One thing I wanted to add real quick before I know Sam had a point to make. As with all war, thoughts go out to the people that are innocent. Both sides.
No matter anybody, when you have women and kids getting shot and blown up and destroyed, it's horrible. And there's never going to be, I don't believe we'll ever have a time without warfare. I think people are too stupid for it. We're likely to kill ourselves off. But you know what? There's a little bit of hope. We haven't done it yet.
I know. Well, I'm going to run for president. There's the hope. I'll fix all this shit.
Good. You can just make me like Minister of Special Projects.
Rock and roll country music. And, you know, we'll grow fields of pot and weed. We'll eat donuts and smoke pot all day. We'll enjoy what the freaking world has offered us. And the hell, all this foolishness done.
You might be on.
I got all kinds of shit I want to do.
I feel like you could win some votes with that.
Listen, all I want to do, I want to run NPR. It's going to be called Neil Public Radio, and I'm going to make it swing. Instead of when you get on, you have that, yes, this morning we're interviewing the maker of Spanx. Yes, Oprah Winfrey discusses Spanx and their help in her rise to meteoric success. You know, I'm wearing
my ass would look fantastic in Spanx. A little bit of lip.
I've been wearing my Spanx, man. Tuck the gut in. You know, And you know what I do too? That my
Not
girlfriend hates.
parasites.
I wear her underwear when I go out in the Spanx.
Here we go.
Confession time, guys. You know,
That's
it's just something to
amazing.
spice up the relationship
It's
a little
Sam,
bit.
that
you
is
know?
so disturbing, isn't it? I can't.
I learned that from
Sorry.
Angelina Jolie. You know,
My God.
when I had her, I dated her before Billy Bob did. Let me just tell you, the girl's a little weird, man.
You woke up with an extra special juice this morning, didn't you?
I did. I haven't, and you know what? I've had no medication, but I drank this whole. This is one of those. What do they call it? Oh, Yeti. That's it.
I have
Me.
the same exact cup.
It's a great cup.
It is a great
And,
cup. I woke up
anyway,
with my special juice. Yay! I'm so happy.
Yeah, yes, I know.
have my special juice.
I
Yay.
dropped a little magic
having
Inca
that. I
mushroom
ain't
powder
getting
in
that.
with it, and I'm feeling wonderful. Yeah. Why am I
Lord.
speaking in the Germanic accent?
I
have
don't know.
no
It just
idea.
kind of surfaces.
Your inner
I
Hessian just
I
came
think one
out.
day we should go on and try and for one whole show hold
Called
an
General
English,
Burgoyne.
like we have to do
You
a
know,
drama project.
I love Sam's. She has the best Freudian slips because she'll
I
slip
know.
under the radar and then just sit back. Look what I just did. None of you.
I know
caught
she
it,
just
but-
drops a little turd in the
every
punch
now-
bowl
yeah,
away.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Bloop.
You know, she looks so innocent. She's almost virgin.
I ain't buying it.
But I know better.
Not for a freaking, not for a red set, not for a second.
It's a big lie.
Hey, listen, I'm a virgin 16 times over. I went through the class of being re-virginized. That was something I literally heard. There was an
There's
organization
nothing
of
about
fat
you
chicks.
virginized. That was
Listen,
as
there was a-
ludicrous as the last statement.
Mine is potentially your dignity, brother. That's it.
You're the Mary Magdalene in the story. You had the Marys confused. You're the Magdalene one, her cousin. Yeah, not the
Oh.
virgin. You're her cousin. You know,
okay.
Magdalene the ho-ho.
Yeah, as you're sitting down there
Magdalena
wearing white,
Ho-Ho.
Sam, I see you. I see where that came in too. Nice, another nice shot.
I'm
Man,
telling you,
that-
man, the
For
girl's
those of
good.
you
That's
not
why.
raised in Christian faith, Mary Magdalene was a whore.
I
Yeah.
know where she
The
was.
Virgin
I
Mary's
listen.
cousin.
I have nothing. I love whores. I had to say it, but you know, I've met whores who have more fucking sense and brains and dignity than fucking half the politicians I run into.
Yeah,
You're
I
a
talk
drummer,
about my
self
scarlet letter that I
identify,
have
because all you
tattooed.
drummers are whores.
Let me tell you. Well,
Sam.
it's
All of
alleged.
them. You know it's true.
I wasn't a whore. I was just
Tell
eating
me
from the
one
buffet of
drummer
life.
that- Irish,
I was like Johnny Appleseed, spilling my seed.
you all have whorish tendencies. All of you.
I definitely have whorish tendencies.
You cannot stand the urge to not beat things. It's just in y'all's nature.
Look, man horn's a serious sport, though. Now you can't just start that. You have to develop as a man horn.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready for the game.
Yes, well, I have a special training course for those of you guys out there who can't get laid no matter what you do. Come spend 2 weeks at the Neil Van Erdy Manho training program, and we'll hook you up. I'm bringing in some real manhos to teach
The
you.
drummer's
I
special.
got
We're
Charlie
showing you how to
Sheen coming
sing
on.
doubles,
I got the
paradiddles.
best staff of manhos
Drummers
you
helping
can
other
find.
guys get nookie.
Fucking A, we're gonna bring on like 50 Cent, or 50 Cent now is known as 25
50
cents.
Cent's a whole
because of the
dollar
economy.
now. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not 50 cent anymore. He's
He's
a
like
whole
fucking
dollar.
.007. He's as low as a royalty statement from fucking Spotify, for Christ's sakes, you know?
Awesome.
Here's your 17 cents you fucking acquired over 90 days. Wow.
Listen, I'm in the age group that literally threw my beer into the air when I saw 50 Cent. When I heard In the Club start playing, I knew exactly what was happening, and I lost my mind. Listen, y'all, that was in my prime, and if one more person attacks the Super Bowl in front of me, I'm going to lose it, because it might not have been the greatest performance in the world, but for the people of my gen, it was our moment, man.
You know what?
It was
This
my
is the thing.
moment.
I remember hearing, not Snoop Dogg. He was in it, but I remember hearing Eazy-E, Niggers with an Attitude, for the first time. And please do not write me a letter, because I used a pejorative speaking about our black friends. If you do, I'm going to slap you through the fucking telephone. I don't hate
a great
blacks.
lover of NWA and all things
NWA.
NWA, and I will personally hit you if you have a problem with it.
Let me tell you, my experience with that band is I'm riding in a van with this heavy metal guitar kid. And I'm like 10 years older. I was maybe 30. He was in his 20s. His dad owned this. We used to build artificial limbs and back braces and all kinds of cool shit. We'd ride around and back and forth from the factory where we'd make back braces and legs, and we'd fabricate shit and sometimes drop it at nursing homes. But at any rate, we're riding, and he was like young and in a heavy metal band. He looked up to me because I had a band that was kind of known around town. And he just thought I was a cool old guy. I was only 30. That gives you an idea of the reference point. He was 21. He goes, I got this great rap band you got to hear. And back then I'm like, oh, fuck, great, another rap band. I actually liked like Run DMC, shit like that. But getting back, he pops in NWA, and the first thing I hear is that, whoop, 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 whoop. Fuck the police fucking comes blowing into the van. It's recorded and mixed like complete shit. I'm thinking it's some local band who's fucking killer. And I mean, so by the time we got to the factory, I have a gig that night, and I'm like, you got to give me this tape, dude. I'm going to fucking bring it to my show tonight. I'm going to put it on for bumper music before we go on and see if I can get fucking stir up some shit, you know? And believe me, it did.
That'll do it.
That'll do
I
it.
go in there, and we're in a band. The Shakes, we were like UB40, but with a real hard edge, because we're like a white boy reggae ska, but with like aggressive band behind it. You know, like I'd always have like a serious stunt guitar player like Jerry Outlaw, who we were really smooth and slick, and then it would just go into your face like grinding rock and roll. That was kind of my job, was just to be a cheerleader and a man whore and basic drummer 101. But we put it on, and my sound man, as soon as it started, is about to ring down the fucking faders and turn it off. And I'm like, whoa. And he looks at me and, Ralph, I love you, man. I wish you were here. He's in Tampa. He goes, what the fuck is that now? He's from Boston, and he's got that voice, you know. In fact, if you want to think of Ralph, think of the movie Dodgeball, the guy who throws the wrench.
Oh,
He
yeah.
goes, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Don't.
Yep.
That was our Ralphie, man. That was his soulmate, or his spirit animal, if you will. He goes, Neely, what the fuck is this shit? When it starts wailing, fuck the police, real loud and real distorted, like our PA bass speakers are like extending beyond their limits. He's like, fuck, I gotta turn down the sub, God, what the fuck? And the whole club's sitting there like, what the hell is this? They
Have no idea the legacy that was about to be created.
And it was back when it happened too, yeah.
Dude,
and
yeah,
you know
so
what?
the whole crew, that whole East Coast, West Coast thing, it literally created an entire legacy that has turned into something so much, man.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable, whether you like rap or
Fucking
not.
Suge Knight.
Dr. Dre is an
Like-
incredibly talented guy. Snoop as well.
Dre
There's
is
some-
legend.
Dre
Wu-Tang
is
Clan, man,
badass.
what came, like, Wu-Tang Clan was birthed from.
You listen to anything
fucking
he's
NWA.
produced, like the Eminem stuff, the sonics in it are just fucking ridiculous. You know, my kids, they had to grow up with me for a dad. Instead of me getting worried about my kids listening to Eminem, I'm cranking up the real Slim Shady, and they're coming out of their rooms looking at
I
dad
love
going,
Eminem.
you know, they're like, are you like fucked up, Dad? What's going on? What are you listening to? And my daughter Asia would be like, oh, you're so hip, Dad, listening to Eminem. You're such a wanker, she's thinking in her head, you know. But I have a big, as we all know, I'm a musician. I listen to all kinds of weird shit. I have 68 gigabytes of music that if you put my iPod collection or my list on, 68 gigs, it would probably be on 3 years from now, still playing. And you would hear an amazing amount of fucking crazy music. I mean, I listen to bizarre stuff.
Listen, I got Cypress Hill followed by Flogging Molly on my stuff.
Exactly. I love those guys, by the way.
Yeah,
I like
got a
all those
weird
Irish
mix.
bands that come out. Fucking, there's another one, a band like Flogging Molly. Dropkick Murphys. I like those guys.
I love Dropkick Murphy.
They're great.
Holy shit.
It's
They're
just,
great.
they just come out and they kick you in the fucking face when you see them live.
Mumford
Okay,
and Sons is in that genre.
Dead
They sound
South
pretty
is
cool
too,
too.
though.
Yep.
Mumford and Sons, Dead South. I love me some fucking Dead South. Love them. People get very uneasy by their lyrics, but man,
I'm sorry, which band?
Dead South.
Oh, I don't know Dead South, but I'll have to listen to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you something later. You should check it out. But like, I know that their lyrics are really bizarre, but you maybe just need a higher IQ to listen to their lyrics.
It might be.
So,
I'm a drummer after all. It might just not be my thing.
Larry wants
I'm going to my
be
remedial.
president. Larry
Hey,
wants to be
what
the
do
emperor.
you-
Smart move, because that way you don't have to deal with Congress and the House,
Yeah,
Larry.
there you go.
Hey, that is one of the best guys ever in the history of the world. Larry is a gem.
Oh, Larry. Yes, I like Larry. I admire him at a distance. I can tell he's got an intellect because of the funny shit he posts
He did
sometimes.
time in prison with me.
Oh, look at this. Toby is lurking in the building. I'm sorry I ignored you, baby. She's sitting here, is going to maybe jump in. Well, Toby, click the button. Push the
Radio
button.
Suite.
Well, while we're
Find the
doing
button
that,
first.
let me tell you guys about something that I found to be insane that I'm working on lobbying against.
Oh,
So,
yeah, the bill. Let's hear it, Sam.
if you do not pay attention to
Hey,
verbiage
Patrick, what's happening, man?
from your local representatives, you are doing yourself a huge disservice, because the great thing about politics and political theater is the ability to make your argument superior. And in doing that, sometimes you can slip in a lot of things under the radar that your constituents may not catch.
Yes.
So currently, old Brucey Bruce down here in Tennessee Rep Bruce Griffey, is trying to pass House Bill 2313. House Bill 2313 is about critical race theory. Now, I know everybody's all up in arms about CRT being taught in school, being taught to the police academy, anyone dealing with the public, but CRT has been misconstrued quite a bit. So let me explain to you what happens if this bill passes. So if this bill passes, you will not be able to talk about full American U.S. history in a classroom. If you do not have full unanimous vocal decision, and they don't say how they're going to make sure that you did have full unanimous decision from your class, but if you do not have full unanimous decision about talking about a topic, if you speak on that topic, you are a criminal. That would literally criminalize our teachers from teaching U.S. history, early U.S. history. All of it would actually be wiped. That's stupid. Wake the fuck up, people. Pay attention. You know what happens if it doesn't get taught at the police academies? Because they're grouping this in, they're going to cause conflict theory. Because CRT taught at the police academy is just simply about understanding the mindset of another human being. It's not about teaching police officers to change their routine or how they handle people or to handle anyone with kid gloves or coddle them, but it's to give them a mental health awareness and a psychological approach of what other people have been through to understand why a situation can become escalated. If you want your officers to continue to be put in dangerous situations, take CRT out of the police academy. I promise you, it won't go well. If you want to see more bills like this pass, it's going to take away classes like philosophy, sociology. It's going to take away very important things that we need to know. We need to educate our children on. Now, CRT became a hot topic because the media spread a bunch of misinformation around. CRT is not about screaming that America is full of white supremacists or saying that America is a nation that's totally built upon white privilege. No, CRT is to tell the whole story, the real story. Like, for example, how African Americans fell into slavery and were captured. That only happened because the indentured servitude system ceased to exist.
Right. Amazing how people, Sam, I love that you're giving an education on this, because a lot of people aren't aware of these facts. And it's just it's
talk
history.
About that, though, if this bill passes. Right, Neil? Like, you feel like that would be important to know about, right?
Yeah, that's a slippery slope on the First Amendment right there. That's when you start eliminating history and you start eliminating knowledge from your educational base, you start to create a whole different
page
problem.
out of
I'm in agreement with you, Sam, big time.
And it affects higher education is the problem. So, like, I understand that we need to continue to teach our K through 12 a dense down version of world and American history. But once you start messing with workplaces and places of higher education, you're starting to constitutionally
when you start to
infringe on stuff.
redefine language to suit your political or ideological or sociological means, to use that as a tool, it can be, it's not a good thing.
Wake up, folks. Start reading what your
Start
legislature is
listening
putting into place. Read these
and
bills.
ask your leaders. You ask a politician, it doesn't matter what party, this isn't partisan, but you ask them, well, what's in this bill you just signed? You call them up, or you go up there, you want to have a meeting with your senator, your legislator. Well,
call your state rep up. Absolutely.
Call them
call
up.
mine all the time. I drive mine nuts.
I've definitely called. I've had some situations regarding health care that were, and I've also had, just to give everybody, I'm sorry, this made me think of our friend Hobby over in Afghanistan. To give you all an update on him, the guy, Sam, this was before you were back on the show.
Yeah.
He's a guy who does photography in Afghanistan. He's been a guest on the show a couple times, actually one of my first guests when we were still in Afghanistan. And in fact, one of the backdrops for the show is that light behind me. It looks like I'm standing in Blade or something. Well, that's actually the downtown Hilton in Afghanistan, where he took a shot at it at night in the flash. And I'll put up the backdrop. I'm not in the studio, as you can see, but at any rate, the update for Hobby, he's still there. It's getting very difficult to get food. If he goes out with his camera, he risks getting his ass kicked by the Taliban, these religious warriors who are so full of the peace of Allah. And he's stuck. I have tried for over a year now. Well, no, it's not. It'll be coming up on a year. When did they leave? September of last year. I have tried. I've spoken to every legislative assistant. I've spoken to the senators, the congressman's office, and even some of the people who I voted against really helped me out. I have to commend Senator Booker's office. Much as I disagree with most of the man's politics, his people working for him were working at midnight, calling me back because I was that frantic. I kept calling him 24/7, every 4 hours until I got my answers. Never got the answer I want to hear. Where I'm going with this, call these people. Sometimes it can help, and sometimes it won't help at all, because like right now, Afghanistan's in the rearview mirror. They don't want anybody talking about getting people out. They call me back. They all mean well, but I can tell in someone's voice when they'd like to give me better news than they can. And they're trying to help. And even though I totally wired diametrically differently than, Brooker. I just don't like his politics. He doesn't like mine either, but his people work really hard, and it wasn't partisan. She didn't ask me if I was a Republican. And that's the way it ought to be. I don't like to see people in each party battering each other. It's not the way it used to be. Get off the media hype about it. I see a note here. You guys are going, will he ever look over there and see this fucking note? I know. Isn't it terrible? I knew that, but I didn't expect that to be the note that you were sending. It's like, move it along, probably. Enough politics for the day. So I'm going to back out of this conversation. We're here at the hour. God, that went quick.
Went real fast.
Well, what was
the bill? What was the bill, Salmon? Is it federal or is it state?
So it's state. It is House Bill 2313. Oh, Bruce Griffey. He's our unfortunate rep right now.
And his party affiliation, for those of us who don't care, but how about
he's Republican in affiliation. And while I support a lot of Republican views, he and I just don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but this is one that we just really don't see eye to eye on.
Well, I can't. It's not look. Everybody, I know some people believe none of our political leaders do any wrong if it's your guy or gal.
We have a bunch
they
of
shoot rabbits like a rabbit.
They have
little pellets. They don't eat food. They glide on their feet. They're so much better and smarter than us too. Really.
Ain't that something?
They're so gifted. I wish I could be like them. I could be.
I openly
racketeering stock market
or a debate at any point in time. Open.
I'd be.
We're
willing
doing
to
a phone bank. If you guys want to get involved, we've got a bunch of political science students together that we're about to do a phone bank on old Bruce Griffey. So if anyone would like to participate in our phone bank to fight House Bill 2313, even though you don't live here, you can still participate in the phone bank.
I will come and I will bring my best voice from Kentucky, girl.
There we go. That's all we need. Perfect. Ta-da.
I'm
So,
bringing
yeah.
my damn thoroughbred.
I'll
I'm
call him
riding
up,
down
I'll
to
say- I'll
Sam's
say-
house.
Sam says you was stupid.
I say she did. I'm a drummer, man. I know that. Hey, speaking of that, what do you call a drummer in a suit?
Oh God.
Oh shit!
Defendant.
Stop it!
Damn you.
Damn me.
Damn you.
Let's see. I heard a few more this morning that I'd not heard of in a long time. How about it? Anybody in the audience? We're overtime. I don't know who's here. I don't know why I'm here. I've asked that existential question. I'm sitting
We're
here.
about to go to SA land.
We have existential
That's
dread.
right.
We got a war going on. We're in some fucked up pandemic that nobody knows where it's going to go. What else could go wrong right now? The snakes could come.
I have
New York.
midterms. That's something going
That's
wrong.
pretty
A
fucked
chocolate
up.
shortage.
Hey guys, Sam has
I'll
got the
follow
big
you.
brain, has the highest
Oh.
score in her entire school. People, I got to brag on her because she's.
Let me
working
show you my
hard.
shock. No shock. No surprise. Wouldn't expect anything less from the best.
I
don't
know
about the
exactly.
best, but we're grinding out here. We're grinding.
Sam, you know what? It's like everything. You do good in a band because you hustle. You do good in school because you hustle.
Trying.
Won't be long. I will make you. I will have you in my evil lair. I'm going to buy. What's
Work
that
ethic,
island?
man.
Epstein
That's all
Island.
it
That's
is, work ethic. I'm just willing to outwork the next person beside me all the time.
It ain't
and
just
that's-
that. You
that's
got it. Not everybody's got it. It's a gift.
you have.
It's a
You're your
curse,
own best
but it's a
Work
gift.
ethic.
company. All right, guys. Well, look, everybody who sat here and suffered through this grotesque Saturnalia of fun, I commend you.
You get a peck pump.
Raise my glass. I have the skull of my enemies, and I have one for everybody. Sign up
Kiss
for
my
Live with
ass.
Neve, and you get a free skull. So
Kiss his
here's your
ass,
homework
kiss her
assignment,
ass,
everybody.
and a
I
peck
want-
pump from Irish.
All right. Well, as you can see, our show today has descended into ludicrous behavior. I don't know. I got to find something here to run us
Shenanigans and
out nicely.
tomfoolery at its
Cruising down the
finest.
street in my 6'4". I'm jocking the bitches, slapping the hoes. Went to the hood to get the scoop. Knuckleheads out there, cold shooting some hoops. Car pulled up, who can it be? A fresh El Camino rolling Kilo G. He pulled
And
up
we're
to the
going to be
party
out
and
of
he
here.